You followed count to 5, but little Timmy is still screaming that he dies for no reason. No supports can heal you from your positioning. You need to develop Danger Sense, the ability to tell who can kill you right now, so you can become like Deku. And in order to do that, we need 3 things: effective range, line of sight, and burst damage. I want you to imagine this. Picture Reinhardt as the center of a circle. Around him, a 4-meter circle. We're using circles to keep things simple for now. That's his primary fight, Rocket Hammer. Get into that circle and you'll most likely die. Step outside of it and he can't hurt you with his hammer. Now let's add his ability 1, charge on top of it. That's a 50-meter danger zone. And then our last circle for his ability 2, Fire Strike. For now, an infinitely big circle. Let's see what these circles look like if we took cover into account. Now that's a lot less scary, isn't it? Guess where little Timmy was standing in every game, by the way. Now this shape defines someone's effective range. Weapons and abilities have an area where they're especially effective, areas where they're less effective, and then spaces where they can't reach anymore. If you're not in their effective range, you can safely ignore it. Don't add it to your count to 5. Given any position from an enemy, look for safe areas, so step into that cover. Use it as a safe spot. This is a game where you need to fight the enemies, not just survive. You need an advantage. Sometimes a hero's effective range isn't scary to stand in. Now little Timmy is taking cover against a Reaper from across the map. That's not the point of this game, and it all depends on the next rule. People don't have 360-degree vision, but rather something like this shape. This is someone's line of sight, or LOS. Reinhardt has to face or look into a direction that he wants to do something. Every hero has different effective ranges due to the various guns and abilities. It costs time and attention to turn around, find an enemy, and then shoot. That's why flanking by going to the side or behind them is so effective. You force them to spend their precious time with you. If you're not in an enemy's LOS, they're not a threat, at least not immediately. Step into that effective range and they become a threat again if they manage to turn around in time. That's why it's important to keep the initial circles in mind. Don't forget that you still need to count to 5 if you do this. They're still on your screen and your time is incredibly limited. Do what you want to do and get out. Please don't stand around like little Timmy. Burst damage is the real reason why it feels like you're dying for no reason. This is damage done to you so fast you can't even react anymore. Sometimes it might even be a one-shot. Sustained damage, on the other hand, is damage done to you over time. Consistent and predictable. Now in Overwatch, all damage might feel like burst damage. After all, this is a pretty fast game, but there is a slight difference and it's all in your ability to react to it. Think to yourself, can I peek a Reinhardt? You wouldn't think twice about it. You're full health, you have a full team, you see an enemy Reinhardt, it doesn't matter. His hammer is so predictable and something you can react to. Even if you're in his LOS, his long-range abilities are slow, you can go into cover if you're at a distance. But if you're in his effective range of the hammer, prepare to die. Or blame the supports for not healing. If they have a Widowmaker though, you plan accordingly unless you want to have your head blown off like little Timmy in his Widow duels. If you can identify who has a big burst that you can't survive, you can either burst them back while they're not looking, or you can simply not interact with them. 1v1ing is not always the solution here. No one is forcing you to look in the same angle as the enemy. Burst damage can also happen when multiple enemies simply shoot at you. This is usually their form of sustained damage as well, just stacked on top of each other. But the point is, if all of them shoot at you at the same time, you still take it in such a short amount of time, it might as well be burst. If your team isn't the one shooting down a hallway, be very careful to shoot back on the angle where multiple enemies are aiming. Choose another angle or wait for your team. That's why the first video was about count to 5. Burst damage is the reason why you can't peek 5 enemies when they have you in their LOS. Let's go over an in-game example of how I use all the tips in the video to stay safe. And I'm doing this from a tank POV. I got you guys. I'd rather not go out there. I have cover from Pharah and the rest of Reinhardt's team here. He'll whack me with his hammer and Pharah will simply fly away and shoot me from a distance. So I take my chance and immediately make a mistake of getting out of my cover into the enemy team. I fly into the whole enemy's team's effective range, into their LOS where they already were shooting my team. And they burst me down with everything they have. Damn, I'm the little Timmy here. Now the Reinhardt pins me to a wall, it's a 1v1, but I'm in his hammer range. This matchup puts me at a disadvantage, so I get out of here. I fly up on a spot where his hammer can't reach me and I dodge his fire strike. I'm now basically safe from him. He's not a threat anymore and I can shoot him for free. And all of a sudden, I'm in the effective range and line of sight of Wu Yang and Sierra, so it's time to run. Let's go on over another example. I angle myself in such a way that I'm not in the line of sight of the other enemies, while making sure that Reinhardt is in my LOS. I back off enough from the corner so I'm always out of his effective range while staying in my own. I decided I want to take the initiative, so I go forward, but I count all 5 enemies, so I back up. I take another angle here to find an isolated Sierra. After checking out the situation, I decided it's time to go on the attack. After a successful attack, I find myself on the next piece of cover, respecting Lucio, Wuyang, and Reinhardt's damage. And as soon as Wuyang and Lucio are distracted for whatever reason, I can walk up again to the next cover. Only 0.3% of my viewers have subscribed, so if this video helped, please help out the channel by subscribing.